Remember that part of the definition of magic is the impulse to cause. In order to cause an experience, some change has to arise, some difference has to be set. While difference can be registered in all layers and aspects of life and illusion, and by many means, one primary tool for the magician for setting conditions of difference are the elements. You may be thinking of elements as simply, elements. Now I invite you to see elements as parameters, codes, language, package, and pattern of difference. That is, when you introduce a given element into the conditions of the magical formula you may be wielding, you are thus introducing a specific difference. Note that you can use any element framework, language, or system. There are element systems that have developed from many cultures, and of course there are scientifically based element systems. For the purposes of learning throughout this video series and my personal default, I use the earth, air, water, fire framework and these actual elements. This is sufficient to instruct you, even if you seek art, knowledge, dedication, and language in another element system in the future or alongside. You can, I hope, easily see the difference each element is a vessel of. You can comprehend, of course, feel a difference between air and fire and earth and water. We experience each of these elements. We swim in water or walk in the rain. We warm by the fire. The breeze caresses our skin. We walk on the earth, feeling the solidity under our feet. There is a difference or contrast in these experiences. And each and all experience of these elements are joyful to our body, generally speaking. Causing difference is creation. Each differentiation of experience is a language. In our world of difference, we have a babble of language and voices. As a magician, as I have suggested many times before this, you have the privilege of hearing these voices and eventually coming to speak the languages you choose to dedicate to, which speaking may or may not involve your actual throat speaking. As you observe the appearances around you, begin to see each as a combination of the four elements. For example, a cup of hot chocolate. Observe and ponder this cup of hot chocolate. Do you see the water? Do you see the earth in the chocolate powder? Do you see the fire and the air in the steam? This is you beginning to hear the whisper of the language of the elements and in the sound of hot chocolate as an appearance. Even something that you think could not be a combination of the elements, if observed within this framework, it can be seen that way. Ponder a lemon. Do you understand the water, the air, the earth, and the warmth of the sun blazing within that lemon? Think of the element differentials as on a spectrum. You can dial the earth up or down, by which I mean more or less. Dial the air up or down, more or less. The same with water and fire. Dial the spectrum of how much element is participating in the combination that allows the appearance. There could be zero air in the combination. There could be mostly fire. Most appearances have at least a little of each. Even the life of elements themselves depend on one another. Air cycles and water cycles depend on the earth and the sun doing their part. Fire requires fuel, generally earth-based and air-based, and so on. All right, this gives you enough to absorb for now. More keys of magic in the next lesson.